People are already here.
Already?
People are already here. There's
Hi,
already
everybody.
comments.
Andrew hasn't even sat down yet.
There's already How did you find it so quickly?
Okay, I'm
Jeez.
getting in
What's
there.
up, everybody? We're about to start recording this week's episode of Geared Up.
That's right. And I'm just logging into YouTube here to be able to monitor this.
I want to see the comments.
Oh, that's what I looked like on it?
Yep,
It was the
that's
picture,
you.
that's the reason.
Yep, that's right. There it is. So we're going to talk about all the news in tech in just a moment. Okay, so where's
Oh,
the
you're really
comments?
big. You're really big on that one.
Yeah, that looks good. Looking good. We're both in there. We've got the Amiibo here. We've got the Switch. So obviously that's going to be a topic of conversation.
Yeah,
So
there's
tap
no
on live
comments.
chat there at the bottom.
Oh, is that what it is? Ah, there
And
we
there
go.
it is.
Hey,
As
everybody.
you can see,
Oh,
there's
so-
already stuff.
Yeah.
What? You guys are crazy.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the vote of confidence, Shalene.
Why did you even press the
Shalene.
button then?
Shalene, thank you.
So with that,
Much love.
Oh man. Okay, that's great.
All
right.
This is a good view. You look good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right, I'm ready whenever you are, Claire.
Alrighty.
Here we go.
Rolling.
It's time to get geared up. From Geekwire.com in Seattle, I'm Todd Bishop.
I'm Andrew Edwards.
Every week we dive into the world of technology, consumer electronics, gadgets, video games.
Everything. If
This-
it plugs in or has a battery, it's fair game here.
That's right. And this week we're going to be talking about McDonald's, among other things.
McDonald's, one of my favorite subjects.
Exactly. Plus the Nintendo Switch. We're going to talk about the first week results, which were very promising
Very
for
crazy.
Nintendo. Absolutely. The Amiibo, which Andrew's going to lead us through. They're sitting here on the table in front of us. Plus Pandora Premium, a new offering
Yes,
from
that's
the
coming.
radio service, and so lots of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So let's
What are we
just
starting with
let's
here?
just jump right in. Let's talk about the Switch. This has
Okay.
been a recurring theme of the first weeks of Gear
People
Up.
like this thing, obviously,
Yes.
right? So we've been noticing that the shows where we cover the Switch, leading up to the Switch, have been very popular, and that spoke volumes for actually how it performed. So Nintendo sold in the first week of availability for the Nintendo Switch 1.5 million consoles.
which is quite a bit
Oh, yes.
worldwide, especially when you compare it to the overall live-to-date sales of the Wii U, its
Right.
predecessor.
The Wii U has been out for just over 5 years, and what
Has
was
it been that long?
5 years. Wii U, 5 years. What was the figure? Was it roughly 13 million?
Roughly
right?
13. So
All right, so 1 week, 1.5 million versus 5 years, roughly 13.5 million. Like,
roughly 10%.
yeah,
Of
10%
the
in the
overall Wii U.
first week, and they're hard to find now. And what that says to me is that Nintendo sold them all. They sold all of the ones that they made, because you can't just walk into a Target or a Fred Meyer or a GameStop and just pick one up today. They're gone. So they sold everything they made, which is crazy.
For people who haven't heard about the Switch before, for the 2 or 3 people out there, it's Nintendo's new hybrid console. It's a
Yes.
tablet that essentially docks into your TV. It becomes a portable player, multi-mode, $299.
Right?
Comes with some great titles, very interesting features, including some detachable Joy-Cons
Yep.
and some Amiibo, which we're going to be talking about
Doesn't
later.
come with them,
No.
but yes, it works with them.
Yes.
But yeah, I just thought that was a pretty interesting, like, it's a huge, big leap ahead of what the Wii U was able to accomplish, especially in the first week. So, yeah, I don't know. So what about, were you one of the 1.5 million though? That is what I was wondering.
I have not purchased it.
What's
yet.
happening?
It's not yet. I got to get to it. We got some events going on. By the way, I should point out the reason all our TVs are gone is we got the Geekwire Bash tonight
Geekwire Bash.
down in south of downtown Seattle, and so all the TVs are being used for video games in part there. I think FIFA is one of the games that
Nice,
are
nice.
going to be played with some Seattle Sounders are going to be there
Oh,
playing
that's
FIFA.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay, what is the Geekwire Bash for people who don't know?
Geekwire
Because
Bash.
I'll be there tonight.
Yes, it is quite possibly the biggest geek carnival you've ever seen. We'll have about 1,700 people out at the Bash. Ping pong, foosball, dodgeball, giant tournaments.
Dodgeball.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's going on.
Video games, tabletop games. I saw some of
Yep,
that as well.
Settlers of Catan.
So I'll be there Snapchatting and Instagramming away.
Nice. Okay, looking forward to that. So on the Nintendo Switch, do you feel like this is a guaranteed success for Nintendo at this point, or what do they need to do next?
I think so. So they definitely made all the right steps so far. The one gaffe that I found is that, and that others have found as well, is that the left Joy-Con has a harder time staying connected than the right one does. The right one has no problem at all. The left Joy-Con will lose connectivity with the Switch periodically, and it's a little annoying. So it looks like that's one thing they have to like figure out, maybe through a software update. But aside from that, like they've made all the right steps, and I think really what it's going to come down to is releasing games at a steady cadence. So we can't have, Zelda came out at launch. We can't go, 9 months for the next big game. And they've said many times they're aware of that. That was a mistake of the Wii U, actually. If you look at the Wii U's library of games, there are actually some really great games in there. But the problem was you'd have these huge gaps that, you'd have the console for 6, 7, 8 months and nothing, important would be released. So Nintendo is now instead working to release a big game every 1 to 3 months. So something major.
So Super Mario Odyssey is coming up.
It's coming this year.
Wow. So that's got to be like the next big one after Breath of the Wild, right?
Yeah. So Breath of the Wild. Next month is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which that's not as big as a standalone Mario game, but it like Mario Kart is a huge franchise.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to launch with, again, it's still rated as the greatest game of all time. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So you launch there. You start with basically what people are saying
in
is
your
the
view.
best.
In your view.
No. Like
everybody agrees.
So
that it's the greatest game of all
there's
time.
4 websites, kind of like Rotten Tomatoes, but for video games.
Yeah.
Where they
is it Metacritic?
Metacritic is one of them.
Yeah.
There's 3 others. I forget all the names of them. But on 3 of the 4, it's rated number 1 of all time, and on the 4th one, it's rated number 2 of all time.
This is the new Legend of Zelda,
The new
Breath of the
one,
Wild.
yes.
Wow. So it's very much in line with what your feelings were after playing the game.
Definitely.
You've still been playing it, right?
Yeah, I've been playing it daily for roughly like between 1 and 3 hours a day, just depending. Like I flew to Austin, Texas, and I played it the entire flight both times, there and back. So that's like a 5-hour flight. So I've played it quite a bit, and I feel like I'm maybe 25 hours in, and I'm not even like 20% through the game. Like it's just massive, and there's so much to do that distracts you from the main storyline, and it's fun. So it's great. It's great. So yeah, Nintendo, as long as they keep releasing, quality titles at a steady cadence, and have third parties doing the same, which so far they do. So companies that are not Nintendo also releasing great games for the Switch. It looks like that's all they need. Like if they keep that up, it's fantastic, because it does live up to the promise. It does live up to the promise that you can play these great games on your TV like any other console, and then you can take it with you and you get the same experience. Like I'm playing on an airplane, and it doesn't feel, aside from the size of the screen, it doesn't feel like I'm losing anything.
Got it. So good momentum for Nintendo there. I'm looking forward to trying those other games out hands on. The Mario Kart game, and then Super Mario Odyssey later on.
So you're gonna buy one or no?
Yeah. Well, I'll let you bring it in,
and
then I'll try it out.
So you're not committing. You're not committing.
I have a really hard time finding time to sit down and game. I've become much more, and maybe that's to the point of this console. Maybe I should get it because it's mobile.
Right. When you're out there biking with your helmet on, just bam, you have that going as well.
You saw that back here. Okay, good. All right, let's move on to our next topic. The iPad. Big rumors this past week that there's going to be a new round of iPads.
Yes.
Much sooner, perhaps, than people thought.
Yeah. Well, I think actually people did think it would be in March, because Apple has typically had an event in March every year, the spring event, where they launch these new iPads. But what's weird this time is there's been no invitation to the press to come out to an event. And let's see, today's March 15th.
Yep.
They usually give about 10 days of lead time. So it's just kind of weird. Like, are they going to release these new iPads in a press release without an event? People aren't really buying they still buy iPads. iPad is by far the best-selling tablet out there. But in terms of Apple's numbers, the iPad keeps selling less and less year over year over the past few years. So is it not a big enough product to warrant its own event anymore? Are they just going to release it through a press release? One of the big rumors is that there's going to be a new size, 10.5 inches, and that this one is going to actually be a bezel-less iPad. So they're going to have the...
So back to this rumor again. Although it's been with the iPhone previously.
Right.
Now the idea is without the border.
Without the border. So basically you'll have a 10.5-inch iPad in the same body size as the current 9.7-inch iPad, but with it taking up the entire footprint of the front of the display, so that the whole thing is just display, which sounds pretty cool. But if it's it just seems to me, if it's something new like that we've never seen before, that does warrant some sort of event rather than just, hey, press release, here's a new iPad that's totally bezel-less. Like, that seems kind of weird. I don't know.
So if the invites don't go out in the next week or two, it sounds like then this rumor is kind of thrown up in the air, or they
right.
could just announce it in a stealthy way.
Right.
That seems
Isn't
very
it weird?
anticlimactic.
It does.
The iPad is still a flagship franchise, even though, as you say, the sales are not what they once were. At least not the sales growth. So at this point, you would think that they would still come out with a big event. I mean,
Right. I would hope.
Yeah.
One would hope.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm hoping that we see an Apple event sometime before the end of the month. But if not, it does seem like we will see iPads in one way or another before the month is up.
Okay, good stuff. All right, that is the new iPad. You are listening to Geared Up, and we will be right back after a break. You're listening to Geared Up on Geekwire on Kyra Radio 97.3 FM. To listen to our full discussion, go to geekwire.com and look for the podcast icon in the upper right-hand corner. We'll be right back with more on Geekwire on Kyra Radio 97.3 FM. Good stuff. Okay.
Next segment.
Yep.
Where we at? McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Let's see. How many of you guys eat at McDonald's?
Yeah.
Be
Hey,
honest.
Hey, so let's catch up on the YouTube feed here. While
Yeah,
we're
do you have
in
any
the-
questions?
Oh, lots. Yeah.
Any people
so
we
wait,
need to address?
are we getting? Somebody says there's a live video error.
What?
Is everybody? It's showing up for me.
Can you guys see this right now? Can you
Yeah.
hear us and see us right now?
Yeah. Let's see. And I should check Facebook too.
Yeah, we're gonna. Okay, everybody's saying yes. We're gonna make sure to answer
Some questions.
your questions.
Yeah, on the stuff we talked about so far, is there anything you want Andrew to answer? Not to put you on the hot seat.
No, it's
Andrew.
fine. Yes, anything we talked about so far, drop the questions in there, and we will address those on-topic questions. Now, somebody did ask how to unsubscribe. All you do is hit the subscribe button and
Again,
unsubscribe.
Yes. But that person's still making comments, by the way.
That's amazing.
Well, let's scroll back through the questions here. I gotta say, YouTube is far more interactive.
You guys are way more interactive and leaving way more comments than the Facebook people are.
Here you go. Edwin Soto says, I lost my job, my car, and my soul, but at least I got to play Breath of the Wild.
Hey, that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
And he also suggests they should start a how to unsubscribe Gear Live meme. Come on, guys. Give Andrew some respect here. All right, I think that's not a lot of substance here.
No crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's just discussion. People are discussing amongst themselves how silly we are, how silly we look.
Who won the Switch?
Who won the Switch? Why don't you follow the instructions in the video that explains how to find out who won, because I've made it very clear how to do that, and then you tell me who won in the comments, because it is publicly accessible information.
Did somebody win already?
Yes.
Okay.
Somebody won.
So that answers your question, Sis and Rob.
Somebody won, and it is publicly available to see who won. And I explained how it would be announced.
The Dalek Master Time Lord wants to know, do you think there will ever be a Nintendo Switch refresh?
Yes.
What does that mean?
I think what Nintendo will do is release a new tablet, an upgraded tablet, or an upgraded dock.
Okay.
And so that when you dock the console, this new dock, let's call it the Dock Pro, will give it better graphics, maybe 4K graphics or something like that. I do see them doing something like that, so that, this is fine on the go, actually. So maybe it really is going to lie in the power of the dock to provide an upgrade. And it'll almost be like the PS4 to PS4 Pro or the Xbox One to the Xbox Scorpio. It's like the same platform, just stronger hardware. I think they'll do that.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm ready whenever you are, Claire. You ready?
Yep,
Okay.
still around.
Okay, good.
So that wasn't the show, right?
No, that was.
But
that
that'll
was-
stay
that
in
was-
the YouTube video.
That'll stay in the YouTube.
That'll stay in the
video.
YouTube episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. A little behind the scenes
Yeah.
interaction with the audience.
That's what
there.
you get when you tune in live.
Yeah.
All right.
I never know whether the comments like that are sarcastic or not. How is the sound? Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I think they can.
All right.
All right, let's just go for it.
We'll have better sound next week, though.
All right, welcome back to Geared Up. I'm Todd Bishop.
I'm Andrew Edwards.
We are talking about the latest gadget and technology news, and that brings us, of course, to
One
this-
of our favorite places to eat.
to this place.
McDonald's.
I actually have. this totally changed my tune on McDonald's because my daughter loves to go here.
Okay.
To the point that it's not very healthy, and so I like.
Well, it's not very healthy if you go there once. So let's just make that clear.
Yeah. So, but you know, they have the play place, and you know, it's been a long winter in Seattle, so you're always looking
Right.
for creative ways to do it. This is like the last resort.
Right.
That said, McDonald's had some interesting technology news this
Right.
past week. They are planning to enact their own mobile order ahead service.
Yes.
So Starbucks essentially pioneered this.
Okay.
Have you tried it? At
So I don't drink
Starbucks?
coffee, and
Okay.
so I'm not a big fan of like any of those places because I don't drink coffee.
Yep.
Have you used the
Yes,
Starbucks thing?
I
How does
have.
that? How does it work? And
So-
does it work well?
Yes, it does. And you basically get on your phone. You can order just like through an e-commerce experience.
Okay.
And then you press a button. It's ready at a nearby Starbucks. You walk in.
Is it
And
cold?
you pick it up. No, it's like, and if, the other thing they do is they actually time it. So they have a sense for when you might show up, and
Wow.
then they actually time it. And that at least is the way it works with some of the delivery they've been doing in Seattle. But it always seems to be hot because
Okay.
they've also been partnering with Postmates on delivery. But here's the thing that Starbucks has found. It's actually been too successful for them. They've started saying they're going to have to reconfigure some of their stores because what'll happen is people are lining up in long lines at the pickup place.
Oh, wow.
As opposed to the order place in the
Uh-huh.
store. And so Howard Schultz has come out and said, we're going to have to start when we redesign our stores and when we reconfigure our existing stores.
Right.
We're going to have to start doing something different.
Yeah.
in
I mean,
terms of
doesn't that make
design.
sense though? Like to me, the whole thing about waiting in line and then speaking an order to a person and them typing it in and then like that's the
Yes.
waste of time. If I can just do that in an app, especially if I order the same thing all the time, I can just order this thing that I always order. That is the time saver. So
And it
why
remembers,
wouldn't I want to do
right,
that?
It remembers what you ordered.
Yeah,
too,
why wouldn't
so
I want to
your
do that?
favorites. Yeah.
So McDonald's is doing this, and they're actually already running a test.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so actually right here, well not right here, but in Spokane. Spokane is one of the 2 cities where they're doing this right now.
Road trip.
Should we go over there?
Yes.
4-hour drive over to Spokane. We can order now and drive to Spokane and see how their sensing technology works. Is it going to be hot when we
I
get
didn't
there?
realize. So it's being tested in Spokane.
Spokane is one of the 2 cities that is testing this. So basically, you will use your app, order whatever it is you want to order at McDonald's, and they will basically monitor where you are. So you give the app permission to track you, just for the duration of the order, from order to pickup, and they'll geofence a certain area around the store. So when you get in that geofence is when they'll prepare your order, so that when you arrive, it's hot. So, and this is just the beginning. Like, it's not that we're big fans of McDonald's. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. But this is where, I mean, I think things are going to go. We all have these smartphones, these supercomputers that can track us, that can allow us to send things like this, orders to stores. Like, I imagine it's happening for not just, places like McDonald's and other fast food entities, but, grocery stores and things like that, where you just put in what you want and you go pick it up and it's ready for you and you leave.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting some comments. We are, by the way, seeing the live chat, Griffin time.
Griffin,
the
we
YouTube.
see you.
We see you. If you
We
got
see
a
you.
question, let us know. I'm thinking maybe we need to put a monitor
That would be
on
cool.
that screen, like
Yes.
a big, because we don't have enough monitors in this room
Right.
to begin with when they're all in here. But seriously, wouldn't that be good?
That'd be great. Then we can actually
we
see everything.
the YouTube stream.
Yes.
Let's do, okay.
Next week.
Noted.
Next week
I'll
we're
get it
doing
going.
that.
All right.
But yeah, so was there a question someone left?
No question, just a comment on.
Just a comment.
On exactly.
Is this live?
Yes,
it
it's
is.
live. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's McDonald's. I do think that we should check it out.
Okay.
We might send a reporter over there.
Yeah, please do. I mean, that'd be great. I want to know how it's working. If you eat at McDonald's, leave your favorite order in the comments, just for our curiosity.
Cobb salad.
Wow.
That's where I like to make a statement.
You even have Claire making noise in here. Claire's usually silent. All right, what do we got next?
Pandora
Ooh.
Premium.
Okay.
So
You're a Pandora user.
I am.
Okay. So Pandora Premium is Pandora's foray into, I don't know what you want to call it, because they do have Pandora Plus, which is $5 a month, which allows you to listen ad-free with unlimited skips. This is Pandora Premium, which is just like, whether you want to look at Spotify or Apple Music or Napster or Google Play Music, basically 33 million songs or so that you can access on demand anytime you want, unlimited. It's not just radio, it's on-demand music. What do you think of that?
$10 a month. It feels like it's about 5 years late.
Wow.
I mean, I am a big Pandora user, but I'm also an Amazon Prime subscriber, and I think everybody who would be a very early adopter of something like this, or even an eager adopter of it, has already done something else. I just feel like Pandora is grasping at straws here.
Okay. So let's take that back. I don't know how many paid users Spotify has. I saw the number 100 million floating around. I don't know if that's paid or just total. But that's 100 million. Apple Music just passed 20 million. So that's 120 million. And those are probably the two largest ones, I would think. I don't know how many Google has. I don't know how. Okay, so there it is.
30 million out of the 100 million are paid.
Okay, so 30 million paid.
As of last June.
Apple has 20 million paid, so that's 50 million. And then whatever the others have, like Tidal, whoever else. So when you look at it that way, that's not a lot of people. There's still a large group of people who are not subscribed to paid music. And the thing with Pandora is, you're looking at it right here, 81 million monthly active listeners.
They've got a big user base.
They can tap into that and get people listening. So the difference with Pandora Premium is supposedly, Pandora bought Rdio, what was it, 2 years ago or so? Rdio was actually my favorite music service at the time. I was super disappointed that they were buying it and shutting it down, because Rdio was great at the social aspect. So I could see, what's trending with my friends, and I could send, hey, this might be interesting to this guy. Let me send it to him and message it to him right through Rdio. It was almost like the Zune. Remember the old Zune music service? Yes. It was so good. I think if they didn't brand it as Zune, it would have been something. But I digress on that.
I got a funny Zune story to tell you.
Okay, good.
Sidetrack you, but go ahead.
Good. So here, Pandora is saying, when you open the Pandora app with Pandora Premium, it is much easier for you to just get to music that you like.
Right.
They already know what you've liked because you've been doing it for years, thumbs up, thumbs down. So they have that. And then they have the whole Music Genome Project, which knows, if you like this, then you probably like this based on everybody else's thumbprint. And so when you open the app, you can easily just hit play. Like, open the app, hit play, you're listening to stuff you like. If you want to search for other things, you certainly can. But when you hit play upon opening the app, I think they call it the endless playlist. It'll just keep playing music, and it'll just keep going until you tell it to stop, which the others don't have. Like, they'll have a set playlist of, like, say 30 songs, 20 songs, 15 songs, 100 songs, whatever it is. And then at some point, you have to go in and pick what else you want to listen to, where Pandora's saying, we're taking that work away from you. You can still do the work if you want to, but if you leave it to us, we'll just make sure you're always listening to music that we think you'll enjoy.
Okay, you just convinced me that I at least want to try it.
Ooh, okay. They are going to have a free trial.
Yes.
So you can do the 30-day, I think it's a 14-day free trial, unless you're a Pandora. No, it's a 1 month free trial, but if you are a current Pandora Plus member, which is the $5 a month, you get a 6-month free trial.
Oh, wow.
Which I've never seen any service offer a 6-month free trial. Apple did 3 months. They still do 3 months. But yeah, 6-month free trial. So if you want to pay that $5 now in order to get 6 months free, you could do that.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay, good. Well, all right. So that's Pandora Premium.
Now, what's your funny Zune story?
Oh, my funny Zune story. I just got some of our podcast stats from our main Geekwire podcast.
Okay.
And we have had. Can you guess how many Zune downloads we've had historically?
Historically, so all throughout time.
Yeah. Actually, let me see. It might actually be. I'd have to double check.
Okay.
We've had 794 downloads on Zune.
Since when?
I'm pretty sure it's all time.
When did it start?
Probably 5 years ago.
5 years?
I would imagine, yeah.
Wow.
I'll have to look into those numbers. It struck me, though, that Zune showed up in our stats. It's still relevant enough to show up in our stats. You're a little blown away.
I mean, what do we get? So is that
20 miles away from Redmond?
That's not even 100 downloads. I mean,
that's true.
Wow.
Out of tens and tens of thousands of downloads.
And
hundreds of thousands over the years.
Right, right. And then the way it's blowing up now that we've started Geared Up.
Exactly.
But I mean, geez. I mean, I don't know. Zune, I don't know. They messed up. It was great. I thought the Zune was great. It was just that branding.
Yes.
The branding killed it. The device and the service were amazing. Horrible.
Nice. Yeah. I agree.
Terrible.
All right. So that's my Zune story.
Okay.
Let's talk about these Amiibo that are in front of you.
Okay. Hold up. Are we doing Amiibo or are we doing something about Lyft and Uber?
Yeah. I'm fine either way.
What was that? Is that next?
Yeah. We want to do that at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do that at the end.
All right,
so
you got that.
Amiibo.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Amiibo? What these things do?
I'm
what
familiar
these things are?
generally with the concept.
All right, so we've got the Switch here. So I've been playing The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, as you know, as I've talked about many times. And these Amiibo work really well with the game. And so I got a bunch of questions last time when we did the Nintendo Switch, talking about the Switch, like overview and review, about Amiibo, what do they do, are they worth it, etc. So what I did was I brought in a bunch of the Legend of Zelda specific Amiibo to kind of talk about what they do and how they work. So an Amiibo is a figure, collectible figure, it looks like a little toy, but there is actual functionality in these. So this is the Ocarina of Time Link. In the bottom there's an NFC chip. You can't see it, it's embedded in there.
Near field communications.
Yes, and actually when you buy them, I don't know if you can see in there, it's actually covered up. So you can't buy this box and then take your Switch into the store and try to scan it.
Or not buy the box.
Right, exactly. So
that would be quite a trick.
Yeah, it would. So they block it from being used unless you actually open it and tear that off the bottom there. So
how much do these cost?
These are roughly $13 each. There's obviously some other, like this guy right here.
What is that?
This is one of the enemies in The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This is the Guardian. I hate these guys. They're very annoying. But this one is $20, and you can see it's a lot bigger. So there is a lot of usage you can get out of these things, though. So when I'm playing Breath of the Wild, each one of these things you can scan once a day.
Wow.
So every 24 hours you can scan one. And let's say for this guy, it'll give you the horse. So you can go and find the horse yourself, but again, this world is so huge, and sometimes you can't even get to this place until you've like built up your stamina and everything. If you don't want to wait, you get this guy, you scan it, you get the horse right away. It just drops right into the screen. There's your horse. If you lose it, scan it again tomorrow. You're fine.
Nice. So,
a lot of these things, like this guy will drop some weaponry, so some new weapons that you don't get access to until later in the game, you can get right away. So each one gives you something special and unique in the game.
So this is an 8-bit Link?
That's 8-bit Link. 8-bit Link also, he drops a bunch of food into there. So the thing with this Zelda game, previously you would always have to find hearts. So if you're dying, you would go find a heart and go like...
Right.
Now you actually have to get food. You have to like find fish or like go hunting for like deer or whatever. And then you have to cook the food. So whenever some of these Amiibo, when you scan them, just a bunch of fish just fall from the sky.
Nice.
And then you just pick them up, and it's like, okay, I don't have to like spend 20 minutes fishing. I'm good for the rest of the day.
And then can you go back and do it again the next day?
Next day, yes.
Wow.
So some people, they will get a whole bunch of these Amiibo, and they'll scan them all. And then the next day they'll do it again. Even if they're not playing that day, they'll just I gotta make sure I just go in and at least scan for today. And they'll have everything they need basically to like power through the game.
So I know these are compatible both with the Wii U tablet and with the Switch tablet.
And the Nintendo 3DS.
Gotcha. Is the experience different on the Switch?
The experience is different because on the Wii U tablet, that's the only place on the Wii U where you can scan these guys. So the Wii U, there's only one tablet, and so if you're the one with the tablet, you're the one who can scan the Amiibo. With the Switch, the Amiibo reader is actually here on the left Joy-Con, on the right Joy-Con.
Gotcha.
So anybody who has a right Joy-Con can scan, and it also has a built-in NFC reader on the Pro controller.
Gotcha.
So anybody who has a Pro controller can also scan. So basically, if you have 3 people with a Pro controller and 1 with the right Joy-Con, all 4 of you can use Amiibo at the same time, versus on the Wii U, only 1 person can at a time. And so you have to kind of pass it around, or it's just not as good of an implementation. So here, you're not limited to just using it in one place.
Okay.
So that's the Amiibo. Again, they're $12.99 per. They're very detailed. They're very collectible. Some people buy them, leave them in the box. That's not what I do, obviously.
I like it because a lot of times getting a new game can be pretty expensive.
Yes.
But this is nice because you can kind of upgrade your experience without doubling down on an entire new game.
Right, exactly, yeah. And so, some of these things unlock, like I said, they unlock things you might not get otherwise, or they just make it easier to get these things that would be very tricky, or that you might not even, see in a game like Breath of the Wild because it's so huge. Like, I've been talking to people who are saying, we'll ask, like, did you see this thing in this area? No, I totally missed that when I was there. Like, there's so much there that's easy to miss that, it's nice to be able to use these collectibles, and they don't just work in that game. So, like, some of these, like, this was released when this was like one of the first Amiibo ever made, so this is like 3 years old. but any amiibo that's related to the Zelda franchise will work in
Nice.
this new game.
Nice.
So you don't have to go out and buy like the Breath of the Wild specific ones in order to use them.
That's good.
So yeah,
Good stuff.
you guys been playing Breath of the Wild?
Yeah,
Let us know.
hear from the YouTube folks. We should say Paul on Facebook has a nice comment. He says, long distance listener from Austin, Texas.
Well, I was
Love
just
your
there.
show. Next year, y'all should do a live remote broadcast from South by Southwest Interactive
Yeah.
Festival. You were just there. Let's
I
hear
was just
about it.
there.
What
I was just
happened?
there. Okay, so I went down to South by Southwest to do some influencer stuff with Panasonic. So they sponsored me to come down there and kind of host some videos for them. It was very interesting. So first of all, when you get there and get off the plane, like you're immediately hot if you're from Seattle. Like it's just hot. But then it was super cold. It was raining. It was thunderstorming. And like the third day I was there, it was like warmer in Seattle than it was in Austin. It was crazy. So the one thing though is, I mean, here in Seattle we're just used to there being Uber everywhere, Lyft everywhere, just everywhere, right?
It's like
They don't-
water. You turn
Yeah.
on the faucet, the water's always there.
Right, you just go outside, there's Ubers everywhere.
Yes.
There was no Uber down there and there was no Lyft down there. Apparently there was some sort of legislation where they wanted like a more thorough or extreme background check on drivers. And Uber and Lyft pulled out of Austin, which is, I mean, Austin, you would think Austin and Uber and like would go together perfectly, but they don't have it. So they actually have their own local ride sharing apps. One of them is called Ride Austin and the other one is called Fasten. I think there might be a third one, but I didn't use it. But they work very similar to the other ones. They're just like, I mean, doesn't really matter if it says Uber or not. It's like you open an app, you order a car, you put in a destination, the car shows up, you can track it, you pay from your phone. But they failed spectacularly during South by Southwest. Horribly.
Yep.
And they promised before South by Southwest that this wouldn't happen. But it was like, when you're there and you see the amount of people, it's like, you just know, like, okay, this is going to be too much because when a company is overconfident like that, you know, one of them said, well, we had 12 times more requests at a time than we've ever had before. And I'm like, I could have told you that would have happened. I could have told you you would have 12 times. I mean, obviously, it's South by Southwest. Of course that's going to happen. You should plan for 20 times. If you think you're going to get 10 times, don't plan for 10 times. Plan for 20 times. So not only was the app not working for the users, but the drivers in the cars, their apps were crashing.
Oh, geez.
So you're driving people around, your app crashes. Oh, I don't know where we're going now. Or you're just driving around aimlessly like, why is nobody requesting me? There's so many people here. So yeah, both apps failed.
So what'd you do? What'd you do?
Walked a bunch.
Yeah.
Just walked a bunch. Or if you just kept trying, like I was standing on a corner in the rain with like a t-shirt on my head for like 20 minutes. There's Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor had the same experience.
Taylor couldn't get a ride.
Taylor Soper on our team, he got absolutely killed for this post in the
Why?
comments. On Twitter, people were calling him like an elitist West Coast tech reporter.
You're an elitist because you expect there to be an Uber. You're an elitist. Okay, that would be like.
Admittedly, this is a first world problem. The lack of.
It is a very first world
on-demand
problem, but I mean, it would be like me saying, "Hey, I'm mad that I ordered my McDonald's through my app, and when I showed up, it wasn't there." Like if it says it's going to work this way, it should work this way. It's not an elitist problem if I don't have my quarter pounder with cheese ready when they said it would be.
So I actually had an extremely positive Uber experience over the weekend.
Interesting.
That I wanted to tell you
Okay.
about. So it ties right into
about
this.
this.
So my wife and I, when we have parents' night out and date night, I don't know if you do these things.
No,
as
of
well.
course, you got to.
Yeah. So we had a date night, and I've started, just driving. You can't really have a conversation.
True.
I mean, you can, but you're distracted.
One person at least is distracted all the time.
It's much nicer to just jump in an Uber, and we were headed up to the Queen Anne neighborhood where it can be difficult to park.
Oh,
like
certainly.
Queen Anne. So we got in an Uber. It was fantastic. We had the greatest talk on the ride over. We were saying we got to do this all the time. It was great. We get out. I walk into the restaurant and I realize I don't have my phone on me. I left my phone in the Uber.
Oh no!
So quick quiz, and maybe the YouTube people can jump in or the Facebook people can jump in. What would you do? What do you do the moment you realize that you've gotten out of your Uber, the driver's driven off, and he's got your phone?
Okay.
Because let me tell you,
two things. Okay.
I came up with something and I got my phone back.
Okay. So
go
what
ahead.
I would do.
Yes.
Okay. If I'm in your situation though.
Yes.
I don't even know if this would work. But if I'm in your situation, I'd be like, okay, the person I'm with has their phone, so I can use their phone to find my iPhone through the iPhone app. But that doesn't mean I can contact the actual car. So I don't know. But if I was by myself and I didn't have someone with me, I don't know exactly what my first step would be.
So I did have my wife there, and I had her iPhone. So I grabbed it. I pulled up the Find My
Yes.
iPhone app, and the first thing I did was I called it from her phone. I called
I hope
it.
you Ubered to the other Uber.
No.
Oh.
So this was why it was such a positive experience. So I called it. He did not pick up.
Okay.
And so then I thought, okay, so I got the Find My iPhone app, and I sounded the alarm on the
okay,
phone, so
okay.
he would know it was in the back seat.
Okay.
Because I'm sure it was on vibrate.
Right.
And then I called back again, and he picked up.
Wow.
And so at this moment, I'm feeling genius.
Okay.
You know.
Yes.
And so he had not gone far enough, and not gone that far. He had not picked up another fare. And I said, "Can you just come back?" And he did. He came back around. It took about 5 minutes, but he got back around. I gave him a pretty good tip.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That is
And so
nice.
I got my phone back. It was like
ingenious.
It was great. Yeah.
Right. See, that is why you should have friends. Don't make fun of the kids who are super nerdy and techie when you're in school. And when you're an adult, ladies and gentlemen, try to wed someone who is as technically sound as Todd Bishop right here. Because that is not something that the average person would think to do.
Yeah.
You know, because the technology, you know what it can do and how you can work around it to solve the problem. Fantastic.
Good deal. All right. Should we end on that note? You got anything else?
I got nothing. That
How
was a big positive story right there.
How about YouTube?
Got anything YouTube? Any
Let's
last
see.
questions? Facebook.
Yeah, the Facebook comment was
Facebook.
really nice.
Facebook stays quiet. Facebook seems to stay quiet. YouTube stays active.
Paul, who kicked this off.
Austin is very walkable. That is true. But when it's raining and thunderstorming, you don't want to walk.
Yeah.
So next year, though, are we promising him that next year we'll be at South by Southwest and he can attend a lot? I'm pressuring him right now. I mean, why not? We'll see.
We'll see.
That's what parents say to kids when they don't want to say yes or no. We'll see.
I am on board with the new TV.
Yeah,
Any excuse to get a new TV.
At the very least, we will have a new TV in here so we can see the YouTube comments as they come in. Yes, perfect.
Oh, whoop, I just lost.
Thanks a lot.
All right, good stuff. Until next time, it's Geared Up on Geekwire. I'm Todd Bishop.
I'm Andrew Edwards.
We'll talk to you next time.
Yeah. All right.
Was that better?
Yes, you can tell the audio quality is